What's in the stars and the cards ahead for you this week? Welcome, welcome. We are talking about tuning in to a quiet inner power this week instead of trying to use brute force, developing strong, healthy, energetic boundaries to restore your energy as an empath, a big hearted person. Because when you apply those techniques this week, you're going to find that it makes all the difference. If you have been feeling emotionally burned out, tired, fatigued at this time of year, it's kind of par for the course. But again, as an empath who's absorbing all this data and all this information around them, there are times where I don't know about you, let me know. I know for myself, it's just like, I just want to hide away from the world. The party was great, but can I be home in my jammies now? Oh my goodness. This week, it's really about tuning in and restoring your energy because we are working towards a full moon. Oh my goodness, can't clearly a new moon in Sagittarius, but there's a fullness to it. I'm excited because there's this potential for really seeding and planting the energies that you want to bring in 2026. As you hop on, give me a quick hello. Hello, Julie. So glad that you can be here with us live. So, everyone, place your hand on your heart and tune in. And we're just going to ask, what is the most important thing that you need to know going into the week ahead? So, a little interesting energy floating around in the heavens. So, just saying hello to your heart, your angels, and all of your guides around you. Ah, temptation, the sexy devil. So, whenever he pops up, this is a reminder that it's not something outside of you, but something within yourself that could be sabotaging your best efforts. As you are going towards this new moon in Sagittarius, which is very much about beliefs and visions, take a moment to see if you've been keeping the bar too low or if a limiting belief has been holding you back from going for the big dream. What in your life has been thwarting your best efforts? The devil, this particular card, which can seem so scary and enticing, is nothing outside of you, but it is a temptation that might come from the outside as an invitation. It's up to you to decide whether or not you want to dance and engage with it. So these are the decisions or the choice points where it might be a quick win or it feels good in the moment, but in the long run, it's not always the best idea. So, for example, we had a holiday party with the family yesterday, got to see my amazing brother, who's a Shakespearean actor, in a great Christmas adventure. And long story short, we came home and we made cookies. And the cookies were so delicious. And I ate, of course, a yummy amount. And then later that night, I thought, I think I'd like some more cookies. And I was tempted, but I knew, right, that I'd probably get a tummy ache. And sure enough, right, I fell to temptation and I got the tummy ache. But that's the kind of thing, or staying up too late, or, getting yourself in a bind, making the decision for other, in order to make other people feel good. As an empath, what I've discovered, and this really is astrology for empaths, learning how to harness the energy of the moon, the weather around you, the energetic weather, so that you can really make the most of the situation and not have to harden your heart or shut down or hide from the world. And what I've noticed is that empaths, highly sensitive people, we can pick up on the energy around us of what other people are feeling and experiencing. They give off a vibe. And that vibe might be so uncomfortable that as an empath, and let me know if you've ever done this, I know I've done this a million times, we might forsake ourselves and do something that might even be not so great or even potentially harmful in order to make the other person comfortable. Because then when they're comfortable, we feel that happy vibe off them. And they're like, okay, it's safe. They feel good. I feel that goodness. Okay, everything's good. But that's a short-term win. And this week, as we're kicking off the energy with the moon in Scorpio, it is about, okay, let's say, well, we're in Capricorn, but we're going to get to that Scorpio moon soon enough. Let's take that energy and really create strong boundaries. Hello, hello, Hannah. So glad to have you. Hello. Oh my goodness. Wonderful. JD, is that how you say your name? That's beautiful. Okay. So we talk about the week ahead. Know that the moon is in a waning energy. And when the moon is waning and we're going towards that new moon, it is about letting go. It's about simplifying. It's releasing the emotional weight that you've been carrying, decluttering, clearing the energetic residue that you might have picked up from other people. That way, you'll be ready when the new moon hits on Friday to set your new moon visions. And maybe you even do your vision board for 2026 with this new moon. Be a great day to do it. Really tie in or tune in to the images, the visualizations, the feelings of the things that you wish to call in and co create for 2026. It's a manifesting year. If you look at it numerologically, little tongue twister there, 26 adds to a 10. So you've got 2 plus, I want to do this right, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6. I'm in my energy mode. And when I'm channeling and I'm in energy mode, I don't do numbers well. So you've got the 2 plus the 0 is 2, plus another 2 is 4, plus 6 is 10. And so 10, or you have the 1 and the 0, which is about creation. The 0, if you think about that beautiful number, it's a number of potential. But potential needs healthy boundaries in order to have the safety in the room for growth. If you don't have healthy boundaries around whatever you're going to grow, it could be trampled on or hurt by just, the winds of the world, the harsh elements. So come up with the idea, the seed that you want to plant, and then create that safe, fertile place to plant it in. And by the way, if we haven't met, my name is Irina Miller. I'm an astrologer, a spiritual life guide, what I call an energy alchemist. And it is my joy to work with curious, empathic seekers like yourself to bring you the sacred practices and tools that enable you to step into the life that you were born to live. And we do that by looking at the moon. So if you like to learn more about the moon and sacred practices and rituals and developing your intuition, then definitely please stick around, like, subscribe, share this with a friend. I'm so, so grateful for you being a part of this community and being here with me today. So let's talk about that overarching energy of the week. We already mentioned that the moon is waning, which will naturally draw you inward. That's where the quiet comes in. There is some energy flowing around and floating around where you might feel your motors revving a little bit more, excited to get things done, but you want to avoid burnout by making sure you have enough quiet time throughout the day. Even if it's just 2 minutes, if you can do 5 or 10, great. But, step away, spend a little longer in the bathroom, turn the light out, or go into a closet. That's where I love to go. And I just sit. And when I sit there, I'm just sitting in the quiet with no agenda. And what that does is it's enabling you to step away from the desensitization of life. My son and I started this great conversation. He'd been watching a podcast with Hank Green and another guy by the name of Alex. I can't remember his last name. And I think it was Alex's podcast, Holy Cannoli. But they were talking about the sensorium and how animals have this incredible sensory ability, like bats with echolocation. You think of like the bees, how they taste with their feet. They're using all of these senses to move through the world, how some animals can see color or even interpret sounds. And as humans, we have a lot of senses, even beyond our 5 physical senses. We have our 6th sense to tune into our intuition. But when we're engaged with a lot of technology, when we don't get outside, when we're worried about all of the things happening in the world, we can become desensitized. And then it's much harder to hear intuitive guidance. The other thing is an empath, when you're getting so much data in, it can be overwhelming, so that to be present and grounded, it's like, no, I can't. It's too much. So knowing practices like the root, flush, fill can be very helpful and impactful. And I'll bring you through that here in a moment and offer you a little link where you can access it yourself and come back to it again and again. But what I want to say is that we want to develop our senses, and taking the time to sit in the closet or sit in the darkness, sit in the quiet, whatever that looks like for you, enables you to just simply turn your senses back on. And in order to be in the world and have those senses on, we must be grounded. So to ground, the first thing you do is you just, again, bring your attention to your heart space. Why? Because when we're in our heart, we live differently. We get out of our head. And you're in your heart. And imagine a beautiful column of light that runs from the center of the heavens down through the crown of your head, your throat, your heart, upper belly, down through the lower belly, between the legs, and down through 6 layers of earth: topsoil, subsoil, layer of granite, a layer of fire, crystals, magma, all the way to the core and heartbeat of Mother Earth. I'm going very fast, I know, and you can always go slower. If there's anything in your space that isn't serving your highest, someone else's thought, belief, opinion, energy, emotion, maybe it's even yours, but it's not working for you, flush it to the earth where it'll be recycled into something of great beauty. And breathe. And then, like you're standing underneath the beautiful golden sun, imagine that sun just shining down on you and bringing through a very beautiful golden calming energy. And we're going to bring through a little bit of green today, just for healing and for love. And if you would like access to that, where I bring you through in a little bit of a slower experience, you can go to the irenamiller.co/get calm. That's just my name, irenamiller.co/get calm. And there I've got the 2-minute audio that brings you through the grounding practice, where you are able to develop strong, healthy, energetic boundaries using that. Okay. And hello. Who do we have? Solitude Soul 99. It is live. Great to have you. Hello, Jocker. Great to have you too. I'm glad you're new and I'm glad you found me. So again, as you hop on, say a quick hello. I love being able to do this live because when we come together, our energy builds and we can make shifts a lot faster. And that's a fun thing. So let's talk about just the big things happening this week, and then we'll break it down day by day and pull a card for each day. So Monday, big energetic shifts from reactive to intentional. The idea is let's move with purpose. And the reason being, the planet of ambition, drive, motivation, Mars, is moving into a very serious zodiac sign of Capricorn. And Capricorn is all about business and being practical and down to earth. So Tuesday, this reality check around responsibilities and boundaries really kicks in. Friday, you're going to find with that beautiful new moon the ability for a fresh start. So a way of shaping our beliefs, really tuning into our truth and defining our next steps and the direction you want to go in. Over the weekend, there's an emotional sensitivity that increases, and illusion versus truth really becomes clear. You know, sometimes we'll put together goals and dreams and hopes and wishes, but it's almost kind of like that devil card says, we're sabotaging ourselves before we even begin. Maybe there's a big goal we have to do a trip around the world. And we're like, I'm going to, do the trip around the world by the end of the summer. And you realize, wait a second, in order to get something in place like that, I need to have other things in line. I need to have the time off from work. I need to do the research. I need to earn the money. So coming up with steps or goals that help us get to the big goal, like maybe it's just, okay, let me investigate what kind of options would enable me to do a trip around the world. Let me do some investigation and find out, I can take a sabbatical from work, and that makes it easier. I don't have to quit my job. These little steps enable you to be practical and realistic and still achieve the big goals without saying, it'll never happen, a trip around the world. Or maybe it's a goal like losing weight. That's a big one with the new year. There's a goal to lose 40 pounds or lose 20. And rather than just saying that, you look at the practical steps and you say, okay, well, in order to reach that goal, I need to take the first step and I need to get outside and walk more, or I need to take a moment to really pay attention to how the food is affecting my body. As I think about my cookies last night. Sunday, the sun moves into Capricorn. So happy birthday, our Capricorn friends. If you're a Capricorn, definitely pop it in the comments below and let us know so we can celebrate you. And it's the winter solstice, the longest night of the year. And I'm going to have an exciting practice to share with all of you. So keep your eyes open, and I'll be sharing that video later this week. All right, let's break this down day by day. So Monday we kick off with that Scorpio moon. So with the Scorpio moon, it is about quiet, It's about learning. We don't need to put up walls to block out the world, but to create the healthy, energetic boundaries that enable you to move through the world and be present. The reason we want to be present or grounded is that then we make decisions in our right mind and right heart. If we're checked out, we end up engaging in doing things. You could think of it like mindless activities or going on automatic pilot. And what ends up happening is we look back and we question and we regret. Why did I do that? Why did I eat those cookies? Why did I buy that thing? Why did I make that choice? Why did I let that person do that? Why did I give my power away? Well, we're not grounded. And at first we think, oh, to be grounded, to be present, it's too intense. I feel all the feelings. I just want to numb it out. This is why we have these times together, like our Monday mornings at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Every Monday, we come together live to learn sacred practices, to figure out what's going on with the energetic weather. How can I be in the world, but not of it? And that root flesh fill, that irinamiller.co/get calm, great way to begin. So Scorpio energy is just asking you to be honest with yourselves and say, what do I need to do in order to really achieve my dreams? Are there habits? Are there beliefs? Is there something, an action that I'm doing that might be holding me back? So I'm going to pull a card and I'm going to just ask, from the card, what wants to be acknowledged today? So when it comes to that Scorpio moon, what wants to be acknowledged? The High Priestess reversed. So here's that sitting in the quiet, sitting in your power, as one of my teachers would say it. The High Priestess card, and whether a card is upright or reversed, the energy is the same. It's just about how do we access it. If it's reversed, something's blocking it. It's showing up slightly differently. And the High Priestess has the answers, but she's not going to reveal them to us because she realizes that sometimes when answers are just handed over, they're not really believed or respected. Sometimes we have to come to the understanding on our own. And to do that, this is an intuitive card. You need to pause and go within in order to find the guidance. So sitting in the quiet for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, you can always ask your question, write it down before you go into that space. And then when you're sitting in the space, you're not striving or reaching for the answer. You're simply just sitting and knowing and trusting that the answer will reveal itself as you go throughout your day or your week. Very intuitive day, Monday. Tuesday, the moon's still in Scorpio. And with the Scorpio energy, it's also about transformation, about emotional release. It's the phoenix rising. And as we're going towards the new moon in Sagittarius, you might find that there's an old belief, an old way of being that needs to be transformed in order for you to achieve your dreams. Let's just think about the weight loss thing. Let's say you have a fitness goal and going into it, there might be a belief, I've tried this before and it hasn't worked. Or so-and-so, said that, too ambitious, it'll never happen. You're of a certain age. How could you do an Iron Man or Iron Woman triathlon? And then you say, you know what? There's a way. I'm going to lay it down step by step. So when we pull a card, I'm going to just ask what is ready to be released for you. So as you're tuning in, we're just asking what is ready to be released. Haha. Six of Swords. I giggle because it's so much fun. As they say, you can't make this stuff up. Six of Swords. She's moving towards calmer waters, calmer seas ahead. She's leaving the troubled waters, but she's still carrying the bags or the baggage with her, the thoughts. So what thoughts might you be continuing to carry that will make it very difficult to achieve that new dream? Again, really look at the beliefs that other people have put in your space. I know there's, coming up, doing this work as a digital entrepreneur myself, I've been in this world for a bit of time. And in the digital entrepreneurial world, it's been a long time, over 10 years doing this work in the online space. And I've had a business for almost 30 years, since the late 90s. And, people will have certain ideas. Oh, you should be this far ahead, or you shouldn't be that far ahead, or how did you do this? Or why can't you do that? And sometimes those beliefs can limit us. So with that Scorpio moon on Tuesday, even though it's waning and it's getting dark, and we're going towards what's called a balsamic phase, the couple days before the new moon, the real darkness, highly intuitive, highly psychic time. Sit in the quiet, that quiet power, because what it's going to enable you to do is avoid the burnout. When we go into worry or fear, sometimes we think productivity is going to help, like just do something. Okay, if I do this, if I try this, and we keep working, but we're missing out on the intuitive guidance because we become desensitized or we're overstimulated, like when you get overtired and you're trying to ignore it all. We have to go into that quiet space, that quiet power in order to hear the intuitive guidance. Because another quick tip, intuitive guidance, how do you know it's intuition coming through? It's three things: a quiet voice, it's not going to yell and scream and shout, it's coming from love. So that intuition isn't trying to get you to act out of fear or missing out. It is love based. And then finally, it's consistent. The message doesn't change. It doesn't go from one thing to something completely different. But in order for us to hear that quiet voice, we have to have practice in the quiet and really cultivating, what does it sound like when I get an intuitive hit? We have clairs, intuitive gifts and ways of processing the information. And this is what I love to teach my energy alchemy students, is saying, okay, do you get physical sensations like goosebumps or your tummy, clenching, or butterflies? Do you get just knowings? You can't explain why you know it. Do you get sounds or words or lyrics that pop into your head? Or do billboards kind of give you tips, or vanity plates on cars? I love that. That's that clear hearing. Or do you sometimes just get pictures in your head, like a scene from a movie pops up, or the image of someone in your head, or maybe you see colors and auras? There's different ways to get this intuitive guidance, but we'll miss out on it if we don't have the ability to hear it through all the noise. And sitting in the quiet can really help with that. So Wednesday, moon is still in Scorpio. Make sure you're taking care of your nervous system. If you're feeling overstimulated, get outside for a walk, take some deep belly breaths. It's important, again, so that you're grounded. Scorpio moon, the Scorpio energy is really here to learn how to protect its sensitivity, and it's a delicate balance. One thing to keep into mind or into account is that the moon does go void, of course, on Wednesday from about 10:24 a.m. Eastern until 11:38 a.m. And all that means is basically from 10:30 to 11:30 Eastern time. You want to pay attention that you're just kind of wrapping up projects. You're not trying to start anything new at that point. It's reflective. Great if you can step aside and do that quiet practice on Wednesday, 10:24 a.m., because the idea is that the moon is not having conversations with any other planet. She's kind of resting, she's kicking back, relaxing, and she says, so should you. One of the phrases that goes along with the moon void, of course, is nothing will come of it. So the idea is that if you try to start a new project or kick something off or make a deal, nothing comes of it. And that can be frustrating. So moon void, of course, is for wrapping things up, for slowing down, being introspective and reflective. So if we pull a card, I'm going to just ask on your behalf, what is your intuition guiding you towards? Okay, so when we think of Wednesday, what is your intuition guiding you towards? Two of Wands. This is a daydreaming. And so as you have that daydreaming energy, it's about making decisions and choices. Take time on Wednesday, especially if you can, around that 10:30 a.m. Eastern hour, to daydream, to visualize. Because if you can't visualize or imagine it, you can't create it and bring it into being. It just doesn't happen. We have to have a strong imagination muscle. And happy birthday to Julie, Capricorn in the audience. Great, great, great to have you live. Oh, it's fun to celebrate our Capricorns. Thank goodness for our Capricorn friends. Thank goodness for all of you. Thursday, the moon moves into Sagittarius. So now we're getting that taste. And it's a balsamic moon, so quiet, introspective, inward. And it is about perspective and meaning. So you might feel that on Thursday, you become a little more contemplative. the energy does lighten. Sagittarius is fun, adventurous. You might feel inspired, more hopeful again, feeling that optimism coming in. Sagittarian energy is very optimistic. They help us keep the bigger picture in mind. So if we ask, what broader truth wants your attention on Thursday? Ooh, that guy really wants to hop out. The sun. Here comes the sun. I love it. So Here Comes the Sun. I love that song by George Harrison and the Beatles. This is having that optimism, right? It's knowing that Rome wasn't built in a day. We have dreams, we have plans, but it's going to take time. It's going to take energy and maybe money, resources, right? So keep the optimism, keep the playfulness, keep the open heart. But at the same time, you say, okay, I'm not going to just get lost in the daydream. I'm going to create the steps, the realistic, practical Capricorn-like steps to get me there. And then Friday, we have the Sagittarius New Moon. So that Sagittarius New Moon, I'm going to encourage you, that would be the great day to get out your vision boards, or just spend some time creating a Pinterest board, looking at things and saying, what kind of feeling do I want to create for 2026? I think sometimes we get hung up on, when it comes to manifesting or co-creating. I prefer co-creating because we're not just doing it under our own willpower, but we're saying, hey, we're teaming up with the divine. We're teaming up with universe to channel and bring something from idea into physical experience. And when you're doing that, we can sometimes get hung up, I feel, on the numbers or the physical outcome. Like, I want this car, or I want this many followers, or this much money, or this title, or this job promotion. But then what can happen is when that's attained, there's this lackluster feeling. Our heart kind of drops out and saying, well, this wasn't what I had hoped. I thought that when I'd finally get the promotion or the salary increase, I would be like this or feel like this or know this. So why not start with the feeling that you're craving first? If it's a feeling of security, or a feeling of being able to spend time with family, a feeling of freedom, a feeling of, potential, possibilities, opportunities, start there and then reverse engineer it. What might help foster that? And you can come up with ideas, but go for the feeling first. Okay, so what intention with this new moon is really wanting to be planted? Let me tune in. What intention is wanting to be planted? So again, can't make this stuff up. 10 of Cups. It's the feeling, the fullness, the happiness, the joy. What will bring you joy? So when it comes to your beliefs, are your beliefs bringing you joy? Are they bringing you fullness? Are they bringing you into community, time with family, time just to know that love is the most important thing? There's a lot going on in the world, and I don't normally take time to address it, but I'm just feeling called to share this one thing, and I'm going to just kind of leave it at this. But Mandy Patinkin once asked Rob Reiner, what is a Princess Bride about? Like, what is it really about? And Rob Reiner said that it's really about a grandfather trying to tell his grandson the importance of love. That it's all about love. Love is what counts. Oh, and I get goosebumps. And that's what the 10 of Cups is saying, is love. The importance of love in our life. All right, so with this new moon, take that time, look at the beliefs that might be holding you back from having love, experiencing love, or giving love. Again, I don't know why the Beatles keep coming through, but as they say, in the end, it's not about the love you take, it's about the love you make. And Nibiru, great to have you here. So Aries energy. Oh, John next. So Aries, very interesting. Aries energy, a lot with the head. We pay attention to the head. Oh, holy cannoli. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad you have a beautiful 10-year-old who keeps you connected. And so I'm glad you found your way here, because I do feel that we don't stumble across these things by accident, but Our angels, our guides really help to open up a pathway for us so that we can be in the right place at the right time. We're going to take some time at the end too, where we just tune into some healing energy and bring that through. Because again, as an energy alchemist, what I love to do is draw in many different sacred practices to meet you where you are and create a unique energy recipe to help you on your journey. And just bringing through some healing energy and getting us into our heart space, I think can be very helpful. We'll do that at the very end. So Saturday, let's talk about that Capricorn moon. He wanted to sneak in at the very beginning. I feel that Capricorn energy so strong with that Mars, planet of drive and ambition, going into Capricorn. And again, Capricorn's about structure, self-leadership, being responsible, being mature, saying, okay, I know I need to kind of show up and put together the plan to get me to my goal. It's not just about wishful thinking or dreaming. There has to be something in place. The Capricorn energy helps us to ground our insights and dreams into reality. So I'm going to just ask on behalf of everyone, what boundary supports you best now? So what boundary, I'll even say, do you need to help support you? Knight of Cups. I love it. Be kind to yourself. Again, Capricorns are taskmasters, all work and no play. This is saying allow the playfulness in a little bit. Be kind to yourself, romance yourself, sweet talk yourself as you're putting together your plans and the structure. And I think, sometimes too, it's kind of like creating a routine or a schedule for yourself. I'm reworking my morning routine so I can kind of rework my sacred practices in a slightly different way that meets me in this moment of time and life right now. And what I'm finding is if I just sit down and I'm like, okay, this is my goal. I'll wake up at this time and I'll do this, and this, and this. I don't take like a kindness towards it. It's a very harsh kind of automated way. But if I'm a little bit kind and I start to realize, yes, I want to hop out of bed right away in the morning and get right into I love to sit in my closet in the quiet because otherwise puppy dogs are coming and crawling all over me. So I just kind of sit in the quiet for 5 or 10 minutes and I tune out the world and I tune into guidance. But what I found is sometimes in the morning, it's really sweet to have a little bit of inspiration. So as opposed to scrolling forever on the different social media points, I found that I want to listen to like musicians, like maybe see live musicians play or dancers dance. And that inspiration just lifts my heart up and is getting me motivated for the day. So rather than saying no phone, jump out of bed, get in the closet, meditate or sit, I'm saying, you know what? I need that little bit of sweetness and that makes it all better. So this is like a little bit of sugar makes the medicine go down. Oh my goodness. And then Sunday we have the Capricorn moon and the winter solstice. And the sun goes into Capricorn. So much Capricorn energy on Sunday, which I think is a nice follow-up to that Sagittarius New Moon. We have our hopes, our wishes, our dreams. We're being optimistic. We're putting together a vision board. And then the weekend really helps create the support of like, okay, you've had your fun daydreaming. Now what do we need to do to actually make it a reality? So just pulling a card, I'm going to ask, when it comes to that structure and that building, what is the most important thing you need to know? Ace of Wands. Pay attention to the inspiration, the insight, the intuitive hits that come on Sunday, because I think what you're going to find is it's a great day for downloads, new opportunities, new projects, maybe even new jobs. Keep your mind open and just jot it down. Catch whatever comes your way. Because if the thought comes into your head and you just are like, oh yeah, that's a cool thought. Yeah, I'll have to check that out later. It'll be gone and you won't remember it, or you won't quite be able to remember it exactly. And you'll be like, wait a second, what did I say? What was that thing? What did I want to do? Capture it, write it down, or get it into your voice memo, whichever way it is. But remember, as an empath, it's not so much about toughening up or developing thicker skin. It's about learning how to be grounded, how to create really strong roots so that we feel safe, we can be present, and we can engage in this world, not just let life kind of walk all over us. This week is an invitation to release what's been draining you, to trust that inner voice, trust the things that steady you, and honor that quiet wisdom within. So to do that, I'm going to just invite you, we're going to bring through some beautiful channeled healing energy. And I'm going to invite you to bring your awareness into your heart space. And with every exhale, soften the soles of your feet. And as you soften the soles of your feet, what's coming through is really about the feet right now. So much of our health can be connected to the way that we walk on this earth and the ability to sense the earth through our feet. And it's very cold in the northern hemisphere. If you're in the southern hemisphere, welcome, friends. You've got the nice warm weather. But for us in the northern hemisphere, it might be too cold to step outside barefoot, unless you're a very brave soul. You can always place your palm on a tree. We have energy centers in the hands and in the feet. Feet. There you go. So imagine that you have beautiful supportive energy beneath the soles of your feet, bringing through this warm, healing, soothing energy. That's it. That relaxes the whole back of the body. And when the back of the body starts to release, there's this clearing in the sinuses, I feel, like this alignment of the spine, so that the nose can breathe even more deeply. Breath is so important. And even the branches of the trees can resemble our lungs. The trees are the lungs of the earth. They help us to ground, to be present. And if we're not grounded, it's hard to take those deep breaths. And without the deep breaths, our energy becomes clogged and stuck. And we become very rigid and desensitized, harder to hear intuitive guidance. So the trees can remind us. Think of yourself like your favorite tree and grow those roots. There you go. Because as soon as you're starting to ground and root, it's also bringing an awareness to what's been in your space that's been distracting you or pulling you off center. Be aware of any physical sensations, like hairs on the back of the neck going up, goosebumps, tension or tightness in chest or opening. Aware of any images that pop into your head. Breathe. That's it. That's it. Good. And as this energy is moving within your body, and this energy is coming directly to you, it's beautiful healing streams of grace. We're going to really work on clearing right side of the body. And as right side, good. And what I'm doing is I'm tuning into the energy that's present and the energy that's going to watch this in the future. All of you beautiful spirits who are tuning in. I'm bringing through a violet light on the back side of the body. Violet is going to just really act like a black light and show us where there are any connections or drains that have been draining your energy. Take that deep breath. That's it. And we're going to bring through the violet light for the back of the body. Good. And with this beautiful, asking beautiful Archangel Michael's help to help dissolve, release any cords, connections that have been draining you. And Archangel Raphael to bring through beautiful healing energy, the gold with the green. There we go. And just see yourself surrounded in this beautiful golden bubble of light. And golden light brings in energetic neutrality. It helps to create a strong, healthy, energetic boundary. So things that do not have your highest and best interest can't get into your space. Beautiful. And then take one more deep breath. We're going to integrate this. And so it is. Oh, that was fun. Thank you, Nibiru, for all of the feedback. I'm glad that it resonated with you. It's fun. We never quite know where these weekly energy weather reports are going to go. I'm glad that you were here. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, as you go into this week, to trust your vibes, follow your heart. And if you want more support on practices like this, how to tune into the moon, to have healing channeled energy like that on a more frequent basis, I do that in my moon club, irenamiller.co/club. So if you haven't checked that out, please feel free. I'm going to put that up here in a moment. If I can figure out a way, I wonder if I can just, yay, I can do that. Yay. So irenmiller.co/club, we have a new moon in Sagittarius sacred practice coming up this week. And I'm excited because we're going to do some fun things in that and celebrate the solstice a little bit too. And great, Julie, to have you. And Nibiru, great question around 666. When it comes to numerology, 6 is about harmony. It's about balance. It's a very Libran-like number. And it's about energy. How do I want to say? Divine energetic exchange of energy. And it needs to be in right balance. You could even add the numbers up and you get 18, and 1 + 8 is 9, right? So there's all sorts of ways to play with numerology. There's different ways to interpret it. What I encourage my energy alchemist students to do is take note of the numbers you see. What were you thinking at the time? What were you feeling when those numbers popped up? Had you asked something right beforehand or earlier in the day for guidance? But 6 is about harmony. It's about balance, and of course, 666 is a number that has gotten a connotation of maybe not so great happiness. It can sometimes represent that devil-like energy. And so you might say, where am I sabotaging myself? That was the card I pulled at the very beginning that said, okay, what do we need to know about this week? Which is, where might we be harming ourselves? Not something outside of us, but what of our own actions are we doing that are keeping us stuck or trapped or disempowered? Change that and shift that. Where are things not in harmony or beauty or balance? And that's kind of where I would invite you to start, Nibiru. Start looking at that, and then take notes, journal on it. Like, oh, okay, I realize that, I'm giving my power away to a certain belief about who I am and what I am. And I'm going to maybe shift that. One of the great practices that I learned early on from my mom, who learned it from her aunts who were nuns, was you look to find the beauty in this world. So even if there's something going on that's very harsh and intense, whether it's in our world or the world outside our window, we look to find the beauty. We look to find the helpers. We look to find the positivity in the situation, not as a way to ignore the bad stuff that's happening, but to keep our spirits up, to keep going. Because if we just let the negativity continue to come in and come in and come in, it'd be like the swamp of sadness. We'll get sucked down and we won't have any motivation, because why do anything? What does it matter? Cancel, clear, delete. We find the beauty and we're like, you know what? Just like the starfish, right? The story of the starfish. You've got 2 people walking along the beach. There's all these starfish that have washed ashore. And so 2 friends walking, the one picks up a starfish and throws it in the ocean. And they're walking and they stop and they pick up another starfish and throw it in the ocean. And the friend says, what are you doing? And the guy who's throwing the starfish says, oh, I'm saving this starfish. I'm throwing him back into the ocean. And the friend says, oh, it's hopeless. Look at all these starfish. There's no way they can all be saved. What difference does it make? And his friend picks up a starfish and throws the starfish in the ocean. And he said, made a difference to that one. Right? So things can be feeling overwhelming and impossible, but the tiniest little action can ripple out and make such a difference. So thank you all for being here. Simply by being here and engaging and playing, you are making a difference and you're making the world a better place. And I'm so thankful for you. Remember, as you go about your adventures, to trust your heart and follow your vibes. Follow your heart, trust your vibes, however you want to say it. It's a wonderful thing to be tuned in to love. And I'll catch you all here on the flip side next week at 9:30. Have a great week. Bye, guys.